Join us, the head coach of the Cavaliers, Dane Damron. South Atlantic Conference play begins this weekend, Saturday, 1 o'clock homecoming against the Bulldogs of Barton College. Coach, this is a team you're familiar with. You wrapped up last regular season with them. Talk about Barton and your impressions of the Bulldogs.
I think they're a good football team, even though they're, as a program, they're still in their infancy, I guess you would say. I think Coach Hester does an incredible job with them. They know who they are. They have no identity crisis on either side of the football. Quarterback's extremely athletic. They want to play past him, get him out on the edge and some boot actions. And their running back is as good as any running back that we've seen in my time here at UVA Wise. He's fantastic. They want to get him the ball about 35 times, try to control the clock. And so we'll have our hands cut out. We'll have our hands tied. They're really good. And, they play extremely hard. So it should be a good game.
You talked about the running back, Jordan Terrell, and, on our side of the ball with Gillespie, I think this might be the two best running backs in the league played in this game Saturday. Touch on that a little bit. And, Javon, he's off to a great start with what he's averaging per carry.
Oh, I think that was a huge part of our game Saturdays when Javon, he got a little sick in the stomach there. And then also he, just tweaked his hamstring a little bit, and we pulled him out of the game. But he was averaging 7.9 yards a carry against an FCS football team. So I thought that was huge. But the Terrell kid, I think you're right. I think it's two of and the kid at LR is really good. So these are some of the top running backs in the league. There's no question about that. I thought last year when we played these guys the last game of the season, they jumped up on us early. We were playing comeback, and when you're playing a team that runs the ball and possesses the ball as well as they do, you don't want to have to be playing catch up, because we ran like 61 plays. We were able to put some points on the board, but we turned it over early a couple of times. They had some good field positions, and they were able to take advantage of it. I think we're down 21-0 or something like that. I don't know exactly how it was. I've tried to block some of that out, but we've got to possess the ball ourselves. Quit giving it to them, and we got to create some turnovers. What we have shown defensively this year is we can drop interceptions, and we got to try to catch some of them.
Well, you touched on not falling behind, and that's something your team's been really good at here in the early going. 35-0, you were outscoring opponents through the first two games in the first 15 minutes. Give us your thoughts on that a little bit, and what you guys have done to prepare these guys. And first 15 minutes, it's really been the best that you've played in both games.
Yeah, I think that shows what the coach has done during the week. Now, on the flip side of that, the third 15 minutes is we've not been very good. So, we've got to make sure that we're doing a great job understanding how teams are playing us and what adjustments they're making. I think Lyndon has been really good early and made a lot of good decisions, and we've been able to run the football. As you and I said after the game Saturday night, as Jacob and I talked about on the radio show Monday, that first half against North Alabama is about as good as we play. We hope that that's what we're going to see more of. I like the first half Cavs a whole lot better than I like the second half Cavs, and we're going to have to play that good, against Barton. Barton is not the talent level as North Alabama. That's not taking anything from Barton. It's 63 versus 36. But Barton's kids play as hard. Barton's kids know what they're doing, and that they're going to pose a lot of the same problems that North Alabama that pose to us. Barton is a darn good football team. They proved that as a first-year program, beating Wingate last year. So it's Coach Hester, as I said to open, he does a phenomenal job. So our kids are going to have to come locked and loaded and ready to play, because I know that those guys are going to be the same way.
Well, it's early in the year. We only played 2 games, but to this point, your offense is the top-rated offense in the league, top-rated passing offense in the league. And what I think has been impressive, it's not been 1 or 2 guys. Lyndon and the quarterback's been spreading it around. I think 11 guys have already caught passes for your team.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think if you can key in on people, that makes it a little bit easier to defend. But if you've lined up a wide receiver this year, you've had a chance to catch the ball. Our running backs have done a good job. To them, I think Jacoby Johnson's doing a great job. being a physical backup to Javon. Caleb, we're trying some different ways to get Caleb Grant to football. And so we've got more production out of our tight end room than I thought we would have. Joey Van Dyke, Joey's probably not going to catch one go 70 yards, but he's going to catch one go 7 and do some good things. He's been physical going attack. So, I mean, I think we're better, Daryl. But that's just a thought. I tell our kids all the time, I think we can win, but Barton thinks they can win. If they knew they were going to win, or if we knew we were going to win, why would we line up and play the game? Because it would be decided. So you got to show up and play. And it's going to be two very good football teams, two very competitive football teams, and similar in a lot of things we do. I think we rely a little bit more on the pass than they do. Their passing game is, a lot of hard play pass and get it vertical down the field, and we're a little bit more horizontal in the stuff that we do. But we both want to run the football, and so it's going to be a good game.
This may seem like a simplistic question, but watching our defense here the last few years, when we get penetration, we wrap up and get guys on the ground, we have a tremendous day defensively. And I think we've seen that with Catawba last year. Obviously, we saw it against Ferrum. Last year against these guys, against North Alabama, they kind of gashed us for some big plays, specifically on the ground game. The importance of that and limiting big plays. Don't turn a 5-yard play into a 20-yard, 40-yard run.
I mean, football in its simplistic view, is exactly that. You got to block, you got to tackle. I think when you try to make it more than that, you lose sight of what the game really is. This past week, we, on the last touchdown before the half, we missed a sack on 3rd down, which could have gone in 17-17 instead of down 21-14 at 21-17. And then we, on a couple of their big touchdown runs, we hit them. We just didn't wrap up and make the tackle. And as you said last year against Barton, it's the same thing. You don't just hit this running back. You've got to tackle this running back. Hitting him's not going to do anything. You've got to tackle him. And it's not about being a big hit. I think so many times kids want to go in there and try to make the hit, try to get on Sports Center, and so they can get up and celebrate, but get them on the ground. Deion Sanders wasn't a big hitter, but he's a good tackler because he just got you to the ground. And he'll never be known as anything other than a great cover corner, but he had to get you down, he got you down. And I think that's the most important thing, is to tackle and wrap up and get them on the ground so we can get to the next down, because you don't ever want the next down to be extra point. You want the next down to be what the next down is supposed to be. And so I think that's huge. We do have to get penetration, but we got to be gap sound. When the defensive line gets out of their gaps, that puts the other two levels of the defense in a bad way. And so Barton is going to be a big inside zone, outside zone team, and our gaps move, and our defensive line got to understand the gaps move, and I've got to be in my gap to get that taken care of. And if we can handle that, then if we'll have a chance. If we don't, if we're gap unsound, we're getting reached and doing all that stuff, I mean, that kid's gonna have a great day. There's no question about that. And so we've got to be sound what we do. When we get there, we got to make a play.
Fans come out to Carl Smith Stadium, kickoff, 1:00 homecoming. We have a Hall of Fame induction. A couple of former All-American football players being inducted at 9 a.m. and Rod Burnett, Jason Lovett. Coach, good luck against the Bulldogs, and we'll catch up after the game.
Thanks, Daryl.